right up the middle. In comes Benny Milko coming around third. He'll score easily.
Hello, softball fans, and welcome back to continuing coverage of the 36th annual Zeister Slot Pre-Championship Tournament from the historical Blikkenburg Sportpark in Zeist, Netherlands. Lance Wynn of Broadcast Ballpark or Ballpark Broadcasting. Glad to have you with us as I'm joined by my special guest today and commentator Izzy Nukunuku. And this is certainly, when you talk about Netherlands, Denmark, Izzy, rivalry is a big thing.
Yes, there's a big rivalry between these two teams. They tend to leave it on the park. Sometimes they all leave the dugouts as well.
Well, we'll keep an eye out, of course, here, and it's the Netherlands are the home team, so we'll go through the Denmark starting lineup. It'll be Vlad Turkelson that'll lead things off, followed by Lucas Lohman.
Oh,
and that first pitch swing, he's lifted up deep, and you can kiss that one in the glove. What a beautiful grab out there by Rombley as he takes a home run away from Vladdy Turkelson. And not a whole lot you could do that, but that's the way you start off a ball game.
That's how you put your hand up.
So as I was saying, in now will step Lucas Lohman. He'll be followed by Freddie Turkelson. And we'll, of course, get a look here at
Jeroen Mulder. East Coast big baby.
Okay, glad you picked me up there. Still looking for that around on my game sheet as that pitch upstairs to Lohman. So Turkelson with a deep fly to center for the first out. We'll get the starting pitcher for you in just a moment for the Netherlands. So it's Jeroen Mulder that is in the circle. Thank you very much for the pickup, Izzy. And that pitch in there for a called strike. Just to finish up the Lohman, Juleman is the batting in the cleanup spot. You've got Simonson, Anders Vane, Tobias Homeland, Jakob Berger, and Alejandro Wong, followed by the right fielder Oscar Anderson up there and not hitting, and that looks like there'll be two out on the play. So Lohman will exit stage left on the strikeout.
On the strikeout, yeah. I thought it was only two strikes, but he swung at three of them.
Well, sometimes when your counter's a little bit off, your counter's a little off, Izzy. There's not a whole lot you could do about it.
Let's see if Turkelson can send a little bit further than his brother.
Well, it's nice to see Freddie back in the international circuit and doing his thing, wearing that familiar number 50. I expect to see him at some point in time patrolling center field. At the very least, brother Vlad also out there as well. But you know those two better than I do. Is that usual? Freddie is usually an outfielder. Yes. And that's what we've seen in the past.
Freddie's normally the outfielder, but Martin Simonson, he's spent a couple of years in New Zealand, so he's picked up that position and he covers it quite well as well.
That is one heck of a change up there. And Mulder had Turkelson way out in front swinging at not sure what. But I think we've all been there with that, Izzy, where we've seen someone with a good changeup, and boy, it looks awfully good. You think you have that thing timed. The problem is it's just not coming in as fast as you think.
And then it's hard to dig in when you're in this.
And that's the beauty of the pitch. If you could master it, it's very hard to dig in. Right about that.
He's already trying to clean his shoes already.
Smart man, smart man.
Oh.
Ball will be lifted up and well out of play down the left field line.
Freddie's quite a classy hitter. He has been one of the key hitters for the Denmark team moving forward. Following with Daniel Julian on deck, he's the true power of the Danish team.
And we've seen Julian for quite a while as that one is popped up and out of play.
Quite a few pitches that he's getting through. And there's that back cleaning those cleats still.
So definitely a good at bat for Freddie Turkelson. So Mulder back to work. Big man brings it inside part of the plate, and a no-go. Just to give you a heads up, our umpire and crew, Damian McCauley is at home plate, Bob Gieskins at first base, Patrick Reese is at second, and Thomas Leinart will be down third base line. That excludes all the other umpires that just made that call right now. So, too numerous to mention, hard hit ball right through the wickets. So Dichkov not able to close it, and when you do that with Turkelson, if you've ever seen him run the bases, boy, he can get first to second in about 3 strides when he gets it going. So he's in there for a double.
Really aggressive on the base. Caught the first base watching.
Well, you know, it's funny, surprisingly, but I think when you look at base running prowess and expertise, of course, the Black Sox are the first team that comes to mind. And when you look at the amount of international experience a guy like Freddie has, you can bet he's picked up something like that along the way. Being heads up, we spoke in our other earlier telecast about some of the differences that separate top teams, and then teams are in 5 to 10 rankings and then below that. And it's little things like that that make a difference. Playing against New Zealand probably wouldn't have taken that base, right? So just the differences in the rotation and the experience.
Playing against New Zealand, he probably wouldn't have gone through the wickets either.
Yeah, I tell you, there's some things I haven't seen, and that you're right, that is one of them.
Going through the wickets, he'd be running to the dugout.
So Juliman steps in now. Of course, the power hitter here with an opportunity to cash in the game's first run. A big swing and a miss. That one looked like right there.
Yep.
I think he pulled his head out just a little bit on that.
I think he just about fell over.
Usually I can count on you to give it straight, right? That's okay.
He's giving us the Michael Jackson slide.
And chased one down low, throw down, and that gets away. So Turkelson, good job on the backup. But when you play on the grass and gets a little wet, that ball automatically gets wet. It's going to make the transfer a bit of a challenge. And
center fielder's already chirping, saying, "Have a go on my arm."
Well, you said certainly no love lost, and Turkelson was quick to take that extra base. So now on third with 2 away. So a lot can happen when that runner moves from second to third as far as options to get him across.
Especially with the wet conditions, the ball could get away. And Freddie being that quick, he'll definitely pounce.
And you know, Izzy, you've been around ball for long enough to know the differences when you're playing on these different infields. We spoke about that earlier. And in Canada, you look around and really we're spoiled that way as far as the diamonds go, because pretty much even if you play in a rec league, you still get your diamond dragged for you before each game. That one gets away, and case in point right there, as Turkelson will come in with an unearned run, the first of the game, and it's 1-0 Denmark.
So he checks the swing, hoping to get the strikeout, so we get the third out, but
instead it's that.
Instead of that one run.
That's right, 2 bases. So we're very spoiled that way as far as playing on. But unfortunately, that doesn't prepare you for what you do when you go to international competition, because with the exception of a venue like going to the World Championships, you've got to play on whatever surface you have to play on. You can't show up to the game and say, sorry, we don't like the look of that.
Yeah.
So we've got a gravel infield on Diamond 2 and a grass infield on Diamond 1, and I'm sure that you've got to make adjustments on both counts for that. Throw in a little bit of weather, throw in some wind too, and now you got your hands full. So I think experience, and you'd allude to that, makes a big difference with that.
Definitely, it's the grass and the way the batters are setting up in the batter's box. They got to dig in early before they can get their swings, and sometimes that changeup just puts them off.
We'll bring up Simonson as he couldn't check his swings through for a called strike. So Juliman gets credit for the RBI as he draws the walk.
Yeah, he got behind 2-0 and then fought his way back to get the walk.
And chasing that rise ball for strike 2.
Martin Simonson, he's spent a couple of years in Northcote learning from Chopper how to hit. He's doing really well at the moment.
We see how that's panning out for him. That's obvious. And nibbling on that corner, but Damian McCauley didn't catch any part of the wood. Well, don't worry. We'll go into a whole bunch of stuff about Chopper Gerbers as this game goes on. No need to worry. Let's let him get a meal in him, and as soon as he leaves, we can really talk.
We can talk, yeah. Then he'll have to watch us back on the playback.
That's the beauty of it. Everyone gets it a couple times. So Mulder trying to work out of this jam here, and a swing and a miss. So a big strikeout, timely one, his second of the ball game, but not before Denmark strikes for one. One run off of one hit and one runner left aboard. We'll be back to set the lineup for the bottom of the inning when we come back. Welcome back as we set the batting order for the home team from Netherlands. It'll be Jeff Delfino to lead things off. Glensig Polonius will be batting in the 2 spot. Eldrick Diethoff is the number 3 hitter. Enrique Javier will bat cleanup. Emerin Lawrence in the 5 spot. Anthony Beaumont will be batting 6th. Danny Rombley, who made that great catch in center field, reaching over the wall to save a home run or rob a home run, whichever way we want to look at it. He's batting 7th. Adel Rapp will be in the 8th spot, and Duran Jakom will be in the number 9 hole. Defensively, of course, for Denmark, it'll be Vladdy Turkelson out in left, Simonson in center, and Anderson out in right field. Wong's on the hot corner. Homeland's a shortstop. Berger at second, and Freddie Turkelson at first. It'll be Lucas Lohman that will be throwing to Svein as we get ready to go. First look offensively for the Netherlands. Waste no time. A single shot through the left side of the infield. So a leadoff single from Delfina. Gets the ball rolling early, and Izzy, you got to like that start. That's the kind of start you're looking for.
Yeah, and he's lightning on the bases, old Delfina is.
And looks like we may have an injury there in Homeland.
I think he might have hurt his shoulder diving for that ball, hit the wet grass and just got stuck.
I'm not sure if he's favoring the shoulder or the leg. You're right. I'm not sure. He hasn't moved that right arm at all, which would indicate shoulder more so. But I also haven't seen him move his right leg either. So
it could be the whole right side?
We're not quite sure what's going on there, but we'll
So just a little bit on that Romley that's playing centre field. He actually played for Holland in the Olympics for the baseball team and has made the transition to play softball for the Holland team. So when you read his name, that's what he's only been in the national team, I think, over the last two seasons.
Well, he's making the conversion, obviously, and of course, defensively, there's not a whole lot you need to convert. The ball's a little bigger, actually, so you're better that way. But offensively, certainly has its challenges, and I mean, you've seen guys that have come from baseball and really struggle to play softball because it is. As we're glad to see him get up, and you called it absolutely. Looks like he's rolled over that shoulder. And can't figure that the timing is the best for that scenario with the Worlds looming a week away.
Yeah. And being a key position. Shortstop's a key position to be losing him this late.
So Homeland had to make his way off, and I'm sure you'll be able to help me with whoever is going to slide over and fill that void.
Looks like Duncan Milne is coming in to play shortstop. He played in the last World Championships for the Danish team. Played a little bit of shortstop, mainly a lot of outfield or running because he's got some speed on him. But he plays shortstop for his club team, Odense Giants in Denmark. So.
And Duncan Mill he's no stranger. He's been around too in international competition.
So he's been to an under-19 World Series and also a men's World Championship. So he has the experience to be able to handle it.
I can hear me from before. Hold on here. Are you playing?
Over here, though. You can hear it.
I can hear it. Yeah. I think I'm making it up. So all set to go. Looks like Duncan Milne has come in to occupy the shortstop position. And it'll be...
Ooh, swing and a miss. That's a little bit high.
Glensig Polonius that will take a big rip on at that rise ball. And I am correct. Milne is at short.
Yep.
That is correct.
Yep,
Okay.
he's come into shortstop.
So the sun peeking through here, squaring the hands up, and we know, Izzy, that to be able to have your body in motion and lay down a bunt is a challenge. Laying down a bunt stationary is work in itself. You throw in all that movement, and we've gotten to a situation where you have certain guys, and they like to bounce around, or they'll try to swing back and get back in the stance. Never works.
No.
Okay? Because that's just not the way the game is played, as you see Polonius go down swinging. What would you say to some of the younger guys out there that are, fundamentally, what are the basics?
Yeah, the main thing is just to slow it down and make sure you put the ball in play. Like I said, if you're trying to do it all running around and stuff, you achieve nothing.
Good wheels there. You spoke about Delfino before. Not only did he swipe that bag, he was looking to take some grass too, as he almost went running right out to center field.
Yeah, he's a personal trainer in his job, so he likes to send me gyms things I should work on. I delete them every time I get them.
How's that working out for you? Just like Chopper's School of Hitting.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Only gym I know his last name's Bob.
Is Bob. Apparently you and I have the same membership. So it'll be Eldrick Dichkoff now that steps in to have a look at Lohman.
Eldrick is quite a quality hitter. He comes from the last Europeans he was at. He was one of the top hitters there. So he tends to hit the ball pretty hard.
Well, certainly batting in the 3 spot. We'll see. Very disciplined there as he works a 1-out walk. First walk of the game issued by Lohman. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter in Enrique Javier. So an opportunity here to put something on the board for Netherlands.
Yeah, well, they got some speed on second base. So if you can get it on the grass, they could score a run and tie it up.
Moving way up in the box, looking to push something down and move the runners along was Javier. Now, if you're a manager, what's your call on in this situation? Is he moving the runners, or is he trying to drive something and cash him?
I'd be trying to drive something in Keisham, especially with the Lohman's getting behind. So because he's getting behind, he's going to throw something. He won't want to load the bases.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think in this situation, the scenario overall, you let this guy hit. You got to figure that if you're going to be competitive in a world tournament, you're going to have to get some of these guys going early.
Well, one of the old adages that I've been watching is that you want to be at the plate to hit, not to walk. And if you walk, it's a bonus. But if you hit, that's what the whole point of the game is.
I like that philosophy. I think going forward, I'm going to have to put that in my back pocket and roll with it if that's okay with you. And missing at the top of the zone was Lohman. So back-to-back walks will load up the bases. And it'll be Emran Lawrence now with a chance here to do some damage.
Emran Lawrence, quality hitter. He's created himself into a pitcher. He's been a catcher most of the thing. He's also an awesome third base, covers the range.
Well, that's a multitude of talent there, and quite a lot of tools in the toolbox, so to speak, if you can do all that.
Yeah. But they might have a chance to turn the double to help them get out of the inning. The grass will dead the ball a little bit.
That is true, and slow your start getting out of the blocks. Either way, here comes Lohman in there with a called strike. Bases loaded. We're still early in this one. Bottom of the first inning. Lawrence drives one up deep. Going back, but Turk out there. Good play to get that in. And the call at third is safe. So good sac fly from Lawrence will cash in a run on another deep fly to center.
It's a great throw from Martin Simmons into third base, just about to get the out there.
So Delfina comes in to score.
So it makes it 1-1.
And we're all tied 1-1. And it'll be Anthony Beaumont now with another chance here with 2 away. See if he can't give his team a bit of a go-ahead lift. Lohman again, outside corner, called strike.
I think he should be living there today, but with them digging in the batter's box, they can't really get to that outside with the grass slipping under their feet.
That would be a good adjustment to make. Took something off, but couldn't bring it down into the strike zone. So that's a ball. And you're right, Izzy. That's a factor there when you look about your stance. We know that a lot of guys like to come in and really dig a deep trench and put you on a bit of an upcline as that ball, slow hop roller, gobbled up over to first in time. So a good job defensively made by Wong. He records the final out of the inning, but not before the tying run comes across. We'll be headed to the top of the second inning when we come back. Back here for the top of the second inning. It'll be Anders Vane followed by Tobias Homelund and Jakob Berger. The
So Duncan Milne would have come in for Tobias.
You're absolutely right.
He came in the Japanese game and managed to get a hit to the outfielder, I believe.
So does a good job coming in off the bench, and that in itself takes a different kind of mentality to think about. You have guys that are used to starting, and if you take them out of the starting role, they just can't perform, and other guys are just good to go whenever, and some guys perform even better coming off the bench. So, and you know that as a coach, as that one's lifted up into deep left field, settling under it and making a good catch out there is Rapp.
Well,
and they're one away.
Most national team players tend to start for their own club team, so they find it hard to make that adjustment. But a lot of the younger boys are used to just enjoying being in the dugout and being a part of it. So Duncan, I believe he'll be one of those guys.
So Duncan Mill now will step in for his first look at Mulder. And took something off, did Mulder, got Milne to swing well over that pitch.
His changeup's working really well. When you're looking at a guy that tall coming at you, you don't expect someone to come slower than anything.
You definitely don't. And then come back, nibble on that lower part of the strike zone, which is a tough place to hit anything anyway. And well, I think as you've been around long enough to know and played long enough to know that you've always been on the receiving end of one of those change-ups where you've swung to and probably chased a rise ball that you shouldn't have out of the zone. Those are two things playing this game that you've probably done. I won't say more than once, but you've definitely done it once.
Yes, that's definitely it. You smiled and done the big twirly bird around on the change-up.
Believe it or the knees got dirty for no apparent reason. Yes, that's absolutely right. It's always good to get the crowd right in close for the feel of things. That's exactly what we're okay with. As everyone stays a little dry, Milne will go down swinging.
As long as they're not breathing the beer on us, that's the main thing.
That's all that matters. Don't breathe it if you're not bringing it, okay? That's all we got to say here.
Us athletes are working on our gym.
Listen, I already told you we have that gym membership, all right? Just leave Billy Bob Jim Thornton alone. So Aka Berger now will step in, the second baseman, and he'll swing through for a strike. So Mulder's done a good job up to this point in settling in. Had a bit of a rocky start, of course, in that first inning, but always good when you manage to get those first two outs early in your next time out.
Well, like I said, you face the class of the Danish team in the first 3-4 hitters, and they're all experienced hitters, and then once you've got through them, you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel until the tunnel comes up again.
Well, it's funny you say that, because if you look at the top three teams that are here, and those are, of course, top three of the five, there is no light, right? There's just a tunnel.
It's just a tunnel.
That's all you got.
And you keep digging.
Yes. So the rain's coming down, and it's getting a little tougher as we'll take a break. And it looks like that's going to be it for now. We're going to take a bit of a break. And
someone's turning into a princess.
Sure, the torrential downpour has nothing to do with the delay. You're right, Izzy. It's totally a judgment call. And I think we could probably get into an Izzy story at some point in time, but in my opinion, it's always better to talk about Chopper when he's not here.
Yes.
So I think what we'll do is we'll take a break and come back, and whatever happens, happens, Izzy. So hang on. We're just in a bit of a rain delay as we're in a 1-1 game between Netherlands and Denmark. Don't go anywhere.